Alright guys, it is Wednesday the 16th of June 2021 and you're watching KopTalk.tv in association with footballclubshares.com, where you can buy real shares in some of Europe's biggest football clubs. That's right, and you don't have to be minted like Roman Abramovich. No, you can be a peasant like me and buy shares in teams like Juventus. How are you doing? Alright, yeah. See, the light shows up everything. I've just had a bit of a shave and I think I've got bits and pieces still falling off me boat race. You know what I'm saying? You're wondering, aren't you? It's not some sort of communist t-shirt. It's Spain, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Second team for when England get knocked out. Anyway, how you doing? You alright? Listen, talking of the Euros, that was, fuck off. Does me noddling all these, I'm going to have to start wearing white. I don't know, I'm not too fat for white. The Euros, what I was going to ask you was, what do you think of VAR at the Euros? Like, I've been watching the tournament, and literally, the first few days, I was like, is VAR being used at this tournament? Because it's so, like, fluent. It just seems to be working at this tournament. Now, in the Premier League, it's been an absolute nightmare. It's been ruining football for me, right? Never mind the fans not being in the stadiums because of the pandemic, but that's temporary. But VAR has been a huge turn-off for me. Which is weird because at the last World Cup, I thought VAR was brilliant. It gave an extra edge to it. But in the Premier League, it seems to take forever. At this tournament, right, all right, it's early days and there might be some controversies and things like that. And people have had different views so far. But it's like that, isn't it? There's no piss balling around, is there, guys? Now, I was looking at this article earlier by Gary Cotton Neville, who's done a VAR U-turn as he calls out Premier League for overcomplicating technology. The former Manchester United star bemoaned the way the English game has adopted the technology and claimed we should follow the lead of our European counterparts. Now, I'm not going to, read the article out to you, but it says Neville's claims came during France's 1-0 victory over Germany in the opening round of Group F games of the tournament, where two Les Bleus goals were ruled out after Mbappe was adjudged to have been slightly offside in the build-up for both, right? We can. I don't really want to talk about specific games or instances. And one thing I will say is, sticking with the offside rule, right? I can't stand it when a player is slightly, over the defender, if you like, the attacking player. Because I think we need to see more goals in football. It's like, let it fucking go. Do you know what I mean? Obvious offside where someone's taking the piss, then fair enough. Would you agree with that? What's your thoughts on offside? I can't be doing with this like fingernail offside and all that on my armpits, you know what I mean? Or someone's hooter. I don't like that. And that's where VAR has been very frustrating for me. But anyway, Neville, he said on Twitter last night, the Premier League use of VAR has made me doubt it. Watching this tournament makes me realise we've overcomplicated it, misused it, and thought we knew better than tournaments and countries that had used it before us. Used correctly, it can work and not intrude on the game. And Peter Crouch, the former Liverpool hitman... All right, steady, what the fuck's that? The former Liverpool hitman agreed with him, saying, spot on. He replied to Neville's tweet by saying spot on. However, Damien Duff, who remembers Damien Duff? Who remembers back in the day on KopTalk when he was linked every day for what feels like decades? Do you remember that? One of them things that just never went away. He lambasted VAR after Poland's 2-1 defeat at the hands of Slovakia on Monday evening, discussing the red card handed to Poland's Gregor Skrzyjak. If it's not John Smith or Jack Daniels, I ain't got a clue how to pronounce it. Duff said VAR can get involved in goals, pens, mistaken identity and direct reds, but for me they should not be allowed to get involved in indirect reds, as in when there's a second yellow, because it's absolutely nonsense that he was sent off for that. No issues with guys that play tennis or things like that, because that ref has clearly played tennis and never played football. That's where people who play football understand that. He's never a yellow card in anybody's life. That's where VAR for me, and the ref's decision with his naked eye, has to be so much better. It's influenced the way the game has gone. 3 points at stake, European Championships. It's ridiculous. However, right, I don't really care what he's got to say, to be honest with you. I'm more interested in what you've got to say. And I would argue that when we have had debates about VAR during the Premier League season concerning Liverpool, and that most of you guys I speak to say, don't really like it done, but it's the people that are operating it that are not doing it properly. Now, me, when someone says that to me, I go, okay, fair enough, but I still don't like it. I'd still rather have no VAR. I've got to be honest with you. I like the game where there's controversy, which, all right, so I'm contradicting because there's controversy with VAR. But what I mean is, like something might happen in a game back in the day, a year ago, 2 years ago, something, you would go to work on Monday or to college or school, and you'd be smirking at your mates that support another team, or they'd be having a go at you, and part of it for me was the revenge, of the playing again, and we'll get you back, we'll fuck you, and who misses, the referees are, you know what I mean? Who misses that? You blind, you know what I'm saying? I miss that. So for me, all you've done is take away the referees' mistakes and added VAR mistakes where people are unhappy. However, if it's going to stay, which it's clearly going to stay, operate it like they're doing now. It seems to work. I mean, how many games have you watched in the Premier League, right, where you've been sat there for, you could have gone and shagged your missus in the amount of time it took, maybe not her, maybe some chick down local that she don't know about, but you know what I'm saying, how long you sat there, right, like that? The only thing, not the only thing, the one thing I don't like about VAR, right, is when a player, an attacking player, right, you've got Mane or one of them lot, right, running up there, right, he put it in net, right, and you always see the player, don't you, look to the linesman, right, assistant referee, okay, and for me, that's what I would do. If I'm at the game, right, which I don't really go to games, I'm too far away, but if I'm at the game, I can see the linesman, right. When you're watching on TV, you're probably focused on the player running away from the goal as he's wheeling off celebrating, and you'll see the player glance. And then when you're watching on TV, you're all waiting to see when the camera flick to the linesman or the referee to see if it's been given, disallowed or whatever. When you're at the game and you're sat there, it's completely different, I think, than watching on TV, because you see the ball go in the back of the net, and straight away I'd be like that. Has he put his flag up? Has he put his flag up? Do you know what I mean? It's a little bit faster than watching on TV. So for me, with the Premier League, when VAR's in use now, you see the goal go in, and you can't really do it. You sat there you're thinking, right, is it going to get pulled back? Can he even how many players have celebrated goals and have gone, fucking 25 minutes later, nah. Fuck off. I don't like VAR, but it's working now at the moment, and with the Premier League need to work this out, because it takes too long. So if we're going to endure it, which I would rather not, if we're going to endure it, if we have to endure it, please make it faster and not as slow and ridiculous and complicated as Neville has been said. Who wants to agree with Gary? Nah, he's alright, I suppose, little mank fuck. At least he's honest, he hates us, doesn't he? I think most of you guys would agree with what I'm saying there. I think so. But let me know what you think. Do you think it's working well? And what do you think about the offsides? The offside rule, if you like, with this, when you see that line and the players are, maybe half his body over the defender, or even 3/4, and they say, it's off. And maybe they're halfway up the pitch at the halfway line. Do you know what I mean? For me, it's more about like obstructing the goalkeeper's view. An offside you can't have for goal hangers and stuff like that, as we'd call them at school. You goal hanging. I've seen him just crossed into that half that the player's attacking, slightly ahead. Well, not just cross, but halfway up the fucking pitch. And he could, they could outrun each other, the defender and the attacker, get the flags up. He's like, knock it off, man. Was it offside? Oh, VAR's looking. Oh, yeah. I was going to say that's a little bit, but it depends who we're talking to, doesn't it? Right, so that's my thoughts on VAR. Yes. I'm off. I'll speak to you in a bit, guys.